12 people there, which for a DIY show, huge turnout.
Yeah.
Okay.
Massive.
I was just like, oh man, that's pretty dope. Turns out the last band had 12 members in it.
And we're rolling. And we're live.
Welcome, babies, to Saint Aubin Central. Today, we're going to talk about touring, okay? I have a love-hate relationship with touring. I'm still trying to figure out how to tour in 2023. I genuinely think like the only way to do touring well is to have a booking agent. If you don't have a booking agent, dude, your tours are dog shit. And like, even if you have a booking agent, if you have like a small booking agent, they're still probably going to book some dog shit shows, you know? But man, because I just went on a run with a buddy and I drummed for him, and we just did 3 dates, a weekend warrior run.
Yeah.
One show was actually really good. The other two, what a waste of time. What a waste of time. You drive your hours in a car just to drive to a venue and nobody's there.
I don't know anything about that.
That's why you left, you know? Yeah. But like, it's wild to me. Like, I remember my friend, like, we got in the city, and it was Columbus, Ohio. And he was just like, how on earth was there 4-band bill and nobody came? It was one of those shows where there was like, I was like, oh, there's like 12 people there, which for a DIY show, huge turnout.
Yeah.
Okay.
Massive.
I was just like, oh man, that's pretty dope. Turns out the last band had 12 members in it.
No.
Like it was like 7 or something like that.
So.
But it was a massive band, and I was just like, what is going on? DIY touring, I still think, is a waste of time. Because then the last show we played was in Louisville, Kentucky. We played a run-down bar that I probably needed like a penicillin shot after I left. Nobody was there. Absolutely nobody. And one of the artists was something. I am filtering so many words in my head right now. I can't, because I'm like, I can't say that. God. I can't say that. It was like the dude had like, I don't know. I feel bad for saying it.
Oh.
Like, just it was creepy, dude. It wasn't my bag. It was not my bag. But yeah, that's the show. It's like, what are we doing? Like, we're gonna do another run at the end of the month. I'm going with my friend, and we'll kind of see. We'll get out of like a few hour radius of us, and we'll head to like Wisconsin and stuff like that. But that experience was just like, man, I just think DIY touring is the biggest waste of time. And the problem with DIY touring is it's the model. So DIY touring is essentially you pick a city. Okay, I'm going to go here. You find 2 local bands to join the bill. Once you get the bill together, you reach out to the venue. Hey, I have these 2 local bands and myself. We'd like to book this date. The venue will say yes most of the time, unless it's booked or it's like a small venue. And most of these venues, they're not quote unquote legitimate venues. Like, they're not having national touring acts. It's mostly like it's some bar, a garage, or a dumpster that fell over, and you're going to play inside there. Like, that's the shows that you're booking for DIY tours. And then I think one of the issues with DIY touring is the bands who bring people aren't the people who agree to a DIY tour. Like, I feel bad, but I just think that that's the reality. Like, granted, it can happen, but if you want a good show, you're just not the probability of you getting a good show is so small when you reach out to, this band called Aluminum Butterfly in Lawrence, Kansas. You're like, hey, you want to play the show? And they're like, yes, we do. What are they doing, dude? Because, I don't know many people, myself. If somebody reached out to me, was like, hey, I'm putting this show together in Indianapolis, I'm probably going to say no just because I'm super selective on my shows. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the band, look what they're following, and then I'm going to ask some follow-up questions like, have you played here before? What numbers did you draw? What are the expectations? How is pay? All these other questions.
Yeah.
And once you kind of go through that, you can find out real quick if this band is worth playing. And I don't know. That's just what when we were there, I think I kind of came to that realization. I'm just like, the bands you book for a DIY tour are not the bands you want to play with. You want to play with a band who can draw, and most of the time, those bands who can draw will play selective amount of shows. And they're trying to do the same thing as you. So you could do a show swap with one of those bands. But other than that, I don't know. That's just it was so glaring to me. I was just like, yo, this isn't great.
So you had 2 shows that were not ideal on this little weekend tour. Is that right?
2 shows. 2 shows were not ideal. I don't even know how many people came.
In the tens?
The first show, it was less than 10. The first show was less than 10. The second show was even less than that.
What time did you play? Were you on late?
No, it was like a standard 8 till 10 or 11,
Okay.
It
wasn't like a 1 in the morning playing last for 5 people.
But then DIY touring, it's not the shows can be rough. But then you got to find a place to stay.
Ooh.
I'm not staying with some sweaty ass bass player, dude, who looks like a gremlin, I'm not going to stay there. It's not. So we booked a place. We played a city. I won't say the name, but we played a city. Fuck it, Cincinnati. Yeah, we played Cincinnati. Nobody listens to this podcast. Who gives a shit? We played Cincinnati, and that was actually a good show. There was probably 60, 70 people at the show. They got paid. It was great. But then we got a place to stay, and if it were me, I would have asked some questions about the place we were staying. And the first red flag would have been, oh, we don't have a shower. We show up to this place. It's a music studio. And but it's weird. It's this weird place. And I always said that it smells like cat litter and pot. That's what all shitty bands places smell like.
Old
cat litter
beer.
and pot. And we show up. There's 3 of us in the band. We show up. They have 1 couch. No blankets. No pillows. He was just like, yeah, we got a yoga mat. And I'm like, dude, I'm 32 years old and morbidly obese. I'm not sleeping on a yoga mat, okay? So then we ended up booking a hotel.
Why did this place get booked? What was
my buddy, I think he,
a music studio.
He's young, he's figuring it out,
Just a young buck.
But I think he was just he's it's like he was trying to save money. And I get it.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to make a profit. But DIY touring is just not a way to make a profit.
You should have just went to a Love's and maybe just bunked up with one of the,
I was just like, dude, I'll sleep in the
there.
car.
Yeah,
I
just
will
be a
sleep in
lot
the car.
lizard for a night, Just
Yeah, dude. It's DIY touring. It ain't for the faint of heart, and I don't think it should be for anybody. And Matt, because I can't tell. We have a friend who tours quite a bit, and they're in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and they just put out on Facebook, hey, if anyone has a place, knows somebody that we could stay at tonight, that'd be great. I'm like, no, you know, I don't know. I still want to tour because like touring is still will be a piece of revenue for Saint Aubin. But early on touring, I still mostly of the mindset of touring doesn't make sense unless you can move tickets. Unless you have a song pop in and then your Spotify analytics is just like, yo, a few thousand people are listening to your song in, you know, Copenhagen, you know. So go to Denmark. And I was going to say this, I can't remember the name. Sheboygan. There it is. But like if I do DIY tour, it's going to have anchor dates. So like I'm still trying to play Chicago. So if I go to Chicago to Shuba's, I'm going to go play Shuba's in Chicago. And then on the way, I'm probably like, well, I could hit up Fort Wayne, hit the Brass Rail. That will actually pay me something decent. And then might as well hit Appleton, Wisconsin, where Mile of Music happens, or like somewhere else. Like have an anchor date in place. But just don't book just random shows, you know?
It's just like the shiny object, though, when you're starting out.
It's
you're like,
nice. It's fun.
Someone wants you or someone reaches out and you're like, oh, like, I'm on tour, you know?
Like, it is super nice. Like, it did kind of break the day-to-day mold for me of I'm in my studio almost like 10 hours a day, just like either working on my day job or I'm working on songs, content, etc. It was kind of nice to like, oh, sweet, I can just work on songs. Or just work on Saint Aubin stuff. Like when I'm here, I have my job, I have a dog, I'm married, I have friends, I have a social life, all this stuff. But when you're on the road, it's just like, it's just me. It's just Saint Aubin, you know? But yeah, dude, and just like the amount of stories that I have just from touring is like I'll never forget playing Columbus, Ohio at a place called the Tree Bar.
I'll never forget it.
And we book this show up to the venue, find out that the booking agent for the show got fired. No one knew we had a show.
Great start.
And I think this person also had a show there. So she basically was like, oh, man, I'll get it together, whatever. And I'm like, okay. Get the show together. It's like a 5-band bill.
Yes.
And we also have to run our own sound, which is great. Every band loves to run their own sound.
Zip tied to the wall
Yes,
behind us.
Absolutely. So it's a 5-band bill. Nobody shows up. We play. None of the bands are even in the room. We're playing to like one polyamorous couple in the corner, you know, like trying to grow their chia pet or whatever they're doing. And I was like pissed because it's like there's common courtesy when you're playing a show. It's like if there's not a ton, at least watch some of it. I'm not expecting you to stay out there.
Yeah.
At least watch some of it because what pisses me off the most is when I don't see you in there and then after the show, hey man, you guys are so great, great set. Fuck you.
Don't even talk to me if you haven't watched it.
100%.
It'd be nicer.
I would rather you, just don't even say anything to me.
Just say, I really needed a cigarette.
Yep.
I'd be fine.
And I'm like, no, a cigar, dude. I'm playing 45 minutes, okay? Jeez. But yeah, the show's over. We play with this band, Lazy Ass Destroyer. This is this band. They're the closing. They're the closer. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. They're the closer, dude. 2 guys in the band. One guy's named Lazy D. The other guy's name's Krusty, okay? Lazy D looks like... You still got the photo?
Oh, yeah. I have the photo ready to go.
Lazy D looks like Francine from Arthur, and he plays an iPod. He just hits play, and he's rapping. And then Krusty has his shirt off, butt crack hanging out, and an executioner's mask on, okay? They play like this Limp Bizkit at it was terrible.
I took that photo at 1:21 a.m.
Yes. Terrible. They're done, and I'm just like, I want to go home. This is awful. But then I noticed that these people are drinking excessively.
Oh yeah, pissed.
And I
drunk.
go up to them and I'm like, hey, how are you guys getting home? Oh, we're going to drive home soon. And if you know me, I'm not, and generally speaking, I'm a fairly passive person. I don't like conflict. But I have a problem when people are fucking stupid and drive drunk, okay? Huge problem. So me being non-confrontational starts to be like, hey, well, why don't we call you a cab or this? They start like, start going back and forth and it's getting heated. And then I remember this guy was just like, dude, what's your problem? Did you have some family member die from a drunk driver? And I'm like, first of all, fuck you. Second of all, kind of. Because I think my sister just got hit by a drunk driver, like not that long ago. Anyway, like I start going around to all these other bands. I'm like, hey, do you know them? Can we help? And we're from out of town. And nobody, like, this is the problem with musicians, dude. They're so passive and they're all like, live your truth and stuff. And it's so fucking annoying that nobody else said anything except me and the other boys.
I was rooting for him. I was throwing the keys at him.
Yeah, I know. Scooter was just like, yeah, come on, drive.
I was like, give this king his keys.
And then it gets all heated. And then this poor bartender, dude, she's there by herself.
Oh, I remember her, yeah.
And she's just like, these three guys are like about to get in a fight. And she's like, you just gotta go. So we got kicked out of the bar. And then we just called the cops and like let them know about this. They probably didn't do anything because they were probably like,
drinking on the job,
yeah,
too.
they're probably, patrolling a black neighborhood, for the 12th time. And then I remember we went to a Waffle House and we spent all of our money at Waffle House.
Yeah.
We all got the All-Star combo, and then I think we left her like a $50 tip or something like that.
An amazing tour.
Yeah. So that's what tour's like, dude. It's like it's these shit shows with these shit people. But it's weird, dude. It's like, but I still, as shitty as a lot of the tours that I've done, I still look back at them fondly. There's still something dreamy about it. It's this Stockholm syndrome, dude. Like all tour does is just like slap you in the face and just like depants you in front of all your friends and just beat the life out of you. But then one day you just like, man, I really want to go back to that,
I think there is a certain magic about playing a new city as a band because you're hoping like maybe our music will connect with like just one person and they're gonna love it. Because nothing feels better than when like somebody that's not connected to you at all is like, I want your CD or like I want a shirt. That was amazing. Because it doesn't feel quite as genuine when it's like one of your friends or like, someone that's seen like 20 shows and they're like, amazing. But when it's a brand new person, that was always like the rush I was looking for. But I'm the same where it's like, we get home and I'd be like, that was stupid.
Well, I think
what
it
a
was,
waste of time.
I think it was the show, it was the Foam in St. Louis. I remember like there was nobody there. And I remember you, like you're more passive than I am, dude. And you were like, what the fuck are we doing?
What are we doing?
And I'm just like, I don't know, dude. But it's hard. It's hard, dude. It's like we're in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
There's not a music industry here. There's not a blueprint for success. So you just kind of like, this is what people do now. I was like, well, yeah, you release an album and you go tour. And then you do it for a long time and hopefully build the fan base,
I think it's fun, like every now and then as a starting band, just to get your feet wet with the process. But to think you're going to like grow a base from doing these micro like tours is just not.
Yeah.
There's no, you spend 50 years doing bars and you'd maybe gain 1,000 people. Like there's
Well,
no
I think
way.
a lot of it's like, like my buddy was doing, he's just like, I want to do these tours just so I have market history,
Yeah.
Which if I'm a booking agent, I'm going to be like, just because you played in Louisville, Kentucky, doesn't mean you can move tickets,
Right. Yep.
So I guess it's better than than nothing, but for me, I just think I think I'm gonna try to get a booking agent, or something. Hopefully, like a white dude who just feels that guilt, and I'll just come up and like, please, sir, can you help me? That's the goal. That would be the goal for a tour. But yeah, I think booking agent, and then if you can't get a booking agent, just try to do like the anchor dates or something like that. But I don't know, touring's tough, dude. Touring is like, I mean, it's tough on the body. You're gone. Like I was gone from my wife for like 3-4 days, and it's just not ideal, dude.
Mm-mm.
But you do it, and you hate it, you know.
You eat fast food.
Like
for
there's
3
not
days
like
straight.
touring, DIY touring. Like there's nothing that makes you rethink your life choices than going on a tour. You know, you just sit there, you're in the venue, it smells like a urinal cake, and you're just like, and it's like 1:30, and you just got off the stage and played to nobody, and you're like, what am I doing with my life?
Yep.
You know.
It's that. It's like post-nut clarity for bands. It's like you
Totally,
you
dude.
get off the stage and you're
Totally.
like, what did I just
Yep.
do? Like,
Yep.
I feel disgusting.
But it's fun. But it's so
I
weird. It's just
know.
like
It's
like if people actually came and I could connect with fans,
Yeah.
what a dream. What a dream. That's so fun. But not when you play to this one guy, Kevin.
It's like
who's just
one
like-
guy with one arm in the corner.
Yeah, I don't, you know, but it's true. Like my buddy, like he moved merch. Like he sold like $200 of merch from one show, which I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
You know, but then it was interesting. The show that that was like a bigger, there's more people there. He sold like $60 worth of merch. So it was weird. I think the first show it was like a lot of like new bands that were just really excited, like, oh man, we got to play with a band on tour. You know, little did they know, we're nobody.
There is like a sweet spot of like those brand new bands where they might bring
They're a little dumb.
everybody.
Oh,
with
yeah,
them.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
my mom, my dad, my cousins, my grandma, and
Yeah,
grandpa are
yeah.
all coming. Mm-hmm. And if you can latch onto those bands,
Yeah,
you'll be in for a good time. But
yeah.
the jaded ones have been playing for a few months.
But even then, dude, it's hard. It's hard because like I've
Yeah.
done show swaps, you know, and like they haven't. I gave this one band and the most ideal show swap you could get, a sold out show, and they haven't really returned the favor. You know, it's like pulling teeth, dude. You know, if I play Detroit, Michigan, and somebody gives me a sold out show, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be like, yo, dude, yeah, let me help you out, you know.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. Touring sucks. Don't do it, or do it. I don't care.
Don't do it long distance though.
Don't do a long
Don't
distance.
fail
dude.
long distance. That was always surprising to me. Is like there'd be a few times we'd play like a local place around here, and somebody'd be like, "Oh yeah, we're from like Oregon or we're from like New York," and I'm like, "You came all the way." Like
Yeah,
to
well, it's
play
like
here.
I mean, when you like touring at scale when you're actually like a band, you make more money the longer you're out.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because you should probably go out at least a couple weeks, you know. But I don't know how these DIY bands do it. Like, yeah, there was one band. I think they might have been from Akron, which isn't far, but they did like a whole U.S. tour, and I'm just like, what? But some bands are so stupid, they will go on tour and just play for like beer money.
Oh yeah.
Like just to get a Pabst, you know? They're like, dude, man, it was great. And I'm just like, yikes.
Yeah.
You know? But whatever floats your boat, babies. If that's what you want to do, you know, you wanna drive out to Flagstaff, Arizona and play to all the hippies. And by hippies, I don't mean plural. I mean one hippie who's been there, who still thinks he's at Burning Man. You know?
The hippie of Flagstaff.
The hippie of Flagstaff. Like, by all means, you do you, baby. I'm just here to entertain you. That's all I'm here for. But that's all I got. That's I don't know. We'll see. I still want to tour. I'm gonna try to. I don't fucking know, dude. I'm probably gonna quit anyway. No one listens to my songs. You know, just gonna give up, throw in the towel. But all right. Have a good day. Thanks for listening, everybody. See ya. Oof.